back to the YouTuber Spotlight podcast. This is episode 7 you're currently listening to on the 14th of December 2014. No, 2013. It's the wrong year. I'm a year ahead of myself. Always get that wrong. Never mind. It's been over, I think it's about a month since I last did the YouTuber Spotlight podcast. I do apologise if I'm a little bit rusty. Got a special guest for you guys tonight. It's Adventure Game number 8. I've been meaning to get her on the podcast for quite a while now, but due to various reasons we haven't had a chance to record it at the time I wanted to. We've both been extremely busy, and this is the first video and podcast I've uploaded in quite a while. So, hello Adventure Game fan. How are you, okay?
Hi, fine, thanks.
It's been trying to get you on. I sent the email to you about a month ago to get you on the podcast, I think it was, but like it's just been, we've been delaying it for weeks and weeks and weeks, but we just haven't had a chance to get the thing recorded. But now we've actually got a little window where we can record a podcast. It will hopefully be a really enjoyable one. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. What sort of videos do you upload on your channel?
Well, for the last almost 4 years now, I've been recording and uploading walkthroughs for various adventure games, mostly adventure games. Something a little bit different every now and then. Did a platformer, a few. Just I'm actually recording one and made one last year, so that's basically what I do. Doesn't sound that interesting, but yeah, people who like adventure games hopefully can find something that they like on my channel. So I like playing both older and newer games. Just everything that I find interesting and that my viewers hopefully will find interesting as well.
I'm pretty sure if you are a fan of adventure games, folks, there is a lot to see. She's uploaded over 1,000 videos, which is extremely impressive. Practically from every developer under the sun. Ranging from early 90s games by LucasArts to recent gems. There's all sorts on the channel to look through in the adventure. I'm surprised there's that many games in the genre, to be fair. And you claim the adventure genre is not dead. That's your slogan on the top of the channel. I can see you got a picture of LeChuck at the top there.
Yeah.
So what would you... excuse me, I'm slurring myself. Out of all the games that you've played, is there a particular series that really stands out in the genre that you enjoy the most?
Oh, obviously it's Monkey Island. Well,
A classic Monkey Island.
Yeah. Monkey Island 3 was the first game that I ever played. Well, first adventure game. Definitely wasn't the first game I ever played. I'm much older than, not much, but a bit older than 1997. So, just a game that I played with a friend back when it came out, and I had so much fun with that game, and I've been in love with LucasArts games ever since. Green Fandango came out a few months later in 1998, and I also played it and absolutely loved it. So definitely LucasArts games, and especially Monkey Island 3, which is by far my favorite adventure game. It's funny, has great soundtrack, memorable characters, of course I love Guybrush, and just remembering how I played it with a friend back in the days, it's just amazing memory, and it was so much fun, sharing the great moments with someone that I used to get along with very well.
So the Curse of Monkey Island is the 3rd in the series. That's an interesting choice, because if you ask, I'm not as big a fan as adventure games as you are. I have played quite a few of the LucasArts games, but if a lot of people I tend to ask when it comes to Monkey Island, they tend to prefer the first or the second ones, the earlier 16-bit ones, which is interesting. You prefer the two. You prefer the animated drawing artwork compared to the sprite work, or was it just because that was the first one you played?
Well, yeah. When the first game came out, I was a few months old, so I didn't really get into the adventure genre until I played Monkey Island 3. So I did play Monkey Island 2: LeChuck's Revenge a few years later, but it's just not that. It's not your first game, and I don't have a very good explanation why I don't like Monkey Island 2 or Monkey Island 1 as much as I like Monkey Island 3, except for the sentimental reasons. Nothing really.
Just because it's a part of the series. Yeah, I tried to do a Let's Play Monkey Island 3 a while ago, but like for some reason I just couldn't get the thing to record properly. Maybe I've just got to change the software I'm using. Curse of Monkey Island 3 is a fantastic game. It's different compared to the previous two because I guess it's because you don't like the early ones so much, because I guess is it fair to say that the early two are more difficult than number 3?
Well, it's not that I don't like them as much. I really do like them a lot. It's just that Monkey Island 3, as the first game that I played, just stands out because it's the first game that I ever played. I loved Monkey Island 2 just almost as much as Monkey Island 3. Monkey Island 1, I don't know, it's maybe a bit shorter, and I just didn't enjoy playing it as much, but the second game was also amazing. And yeah, it is pretty difficult, and I remember that I played on the light difficulty. That I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've last played the earlier two. Yeah, number 3 is a really good game. What was your favourite part of number 3? I think the bit that stands out for me is like the dueling banjos. Instead of like using pistols, you got to
Yeah.
there's you got to beat Edward Van Helgen Snugglecakes, as his name is, with your banjos, and you got to remember what strings he plucked. That's a really memorable bit for me.
I really like the beginning of the game. When Guybrush proposes to Elaine and he gives her the cursed ring. I just love that part of the game. I could watch cutscenes, yeah, over and over and over again. I just love that part of the game. But I always loved as a kid how Guybrush put stuff in his pants. Like when he picks something really big and just like puts it down his pants. I love that. Just stuff like that. When I was a kid, I couldn't understand everything, not being a native speaker, of course. But my friend, who was a bit older, would translate some of the funnier dialogues, and it just.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So at the time when you first played the game, you weren't able to speak English fluently as you were now. You had someone to translate the funny jokes for you while you were playing it.
Well, I was 7 or 8 years old when it came out, and the friend was about 12. She's a few years older than me, so she knew. Well, she wasn't fluent either, but she could translate some of the funnier jokes, and it was still hilarious just looking at Guybrush. It was enough for me, and I guess that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't like Monkey Island 1 and 2 as much when I was 9 or 10 years old when I played them after Monkey Island 3, because the graphics aren't as they're much older, and Guybrush himself doesn't look as funny, like putting stuff down his pants, like I said a few times.
Yeah, and the early ones didn't have voice acting either, did it? Until they remastered them recently, didn't they? They re-released them with updated graphics on the PC and Xbox and PlayStation. So yeah, what about the voice acting? Do you enjoy the voice acting? Was that part of the humour as well? Did you enjoy it, or was it more like the visual humour that you enjoyed?
Well, I did like I did like. I remember, Guybrush as a whole. I love the guy. What can I say?
I'm Guybrush Threepwood, mighty pirate.
Yeah.
I thought you were a flooring inspector.
Yeah.
That's one of the famous lines out of the game. One of the early games, anyway. It's just like the Monkey Island is a fantastic series. Did you play the fourth one, by the way? It's the 3D one. Did you play that one?
Yes, I did. I played when it came out, and I did like it, but not as much. I don't know. I didn't like the changes they made. Just saying that it is very interesting how much fans love Green Fandango, which is a very similar game when it comes to those aspects. It's also a 3D game, and Monkey Island 4 always gets, like, why did they do it? Why did they change the something that was working? Um,
I get what you mean. I guess Monkey Island 4, even though it was in the same style of Grim Fandango, it was because originally it wasn't designed to be a 3D game, I suppose. Whereas Grim Fandango was designed to be a 3D game to begin with, and I never played Grim Fandango, unfortunately. I've watched
you
a
should.
load of Let's Plays of it, but is it available on Steam? I'm not sure. I don't
I don't
think it
know. I
is.
don't know. I had it
Um,
for forever,
uh,
so haven't checked.
I'm gonna have to probably go on eBay and get like a copy off eBay or download it somewhere. Yeah, Monkey Island 4 for me. I guess I didn't like it so much because the controls were really awkward.
Yeah, they are.
I had to program like a controller when we had it years ago because I just couldn't get used to the keyboard and mouse controls. It seemed awkward to me. It's not like the puzzles weren't funny and the humor wasn't funny and stuff. It was funny, but it sort of ruined the experience, and like you had to like fight through it compared to the previous games. I guess I'm not sure, but it seems to be like it's the one in the series that not many people like. It's number 4.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what about the even more recent games in the Monkey Island series? Have you played the Tales of Monkey Island series by Telltale, I believe?
Yeah, I played when it came out, and it's funny, but when I installed the game, when I started playing, I was like, just that's not the LucasArts Monkey Island games, and I basically just stopped playing. It's weird, and I know that people will hate me for for saying that, but I just couldn't play the new Monkey Island games.
Hmm. Yeah, I have heard that. Like, I guess I suppose they're trying. The visual look doesn't look as good, and I guess the humor wasn't as funny. But again, I really can't say because I haven't played them myself. The last Monkey Island I played was number 4 years and years ago. But I don't know. It's just I guess like because LucasArts, of course, they don't exist anymore. They've been made defunct very recently. In
Yeah.
fact, when Disney took them over, and not the brand name doesn't exist anymore, which is a real shame. And because a lot of talented people work there, with Tim Schafer and Dave Grossman and all the other funny guys that are still in the industry, but they're in different companies now, I believe. But they were sort of, I guess. What about the Sierra point and click games? Did you play any of those, like King's Quest and the like?
I only played a few, and I guess as a kid I had Larry Suit Larry, yeah, and I didn't like it very much. I don't know, it was just weird at the time, and also it's weird because when I was a kid I just couldn't go out and buy any game that I wanted. It was, like situation over here. It was difficult to find games. They weren't available, and even when you could buy games, most of the times they were just pirated copies that someone um, gave you, and so I didn't have any manuals, and it's really impossible to play them without any help. And they have the protection that you even can't finish the game if you don't have a manual. So I just couldn't play them as a kid. I had a few, I just couldn't get very far. There wasn't any walkthroughs available online or anything. I didn't have the manual, so I started playing them. I got stuck, and I just got pretty much bored, and so I was never really a huge Sierra fan. I'm trying to I would like to give them another try, definitely.
Maybe you'll enjoy them more now that you've got a greater understanding of like the humour and the joke, especially if because your grasp of English is a lot better than it would have been all those years ago. Maybe if you play them again now, maybe you'll appreciate them more. I guess that's just a theory. I'm not
I'm
sure.
sure that I would, and I'm probably start with King's Quest or Police Quest, and maybe even make a walkthrough eventually. It would be nice to play some other classic games, and I'm looking forward to checking more of them out. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess there's another problem. Like, not all of these old games are available on places like Steam, where you can just
Yeah,
download them
yeah,
on a whim. And I suppose a lot of the games that you've played on your channel, you've still got the original disc somewhere or floppy
yeah,
disk
yeah,
still
I do.
available.
Yeah.
And I would have thought not. I certainly don't have access to a lot of the games that you've played. I unfortunately I've lost my copy of Monkey Island 3 years ago. I've had to re-download a copy off a torrent site, unfortunately, because I can't find the original disc, and getting the original is quite expensive now. That's just one of the many problems that when it comes to these classic adventure games, I suppose. But which is a real shame, because it is a genre
Yeah.
that it's compared to a lot of other things. It's a sort of genre that makes you think instead of just like shooting at people and blowing stuff up all the time. Is that another reason why that you enjoy adventure games more than any other genre? Is it because it makes you think?
Um, Partly, but I like a good story in a game. That's the main reason why like adventure games. I like funny dialogues. I like good soundtracks, something nice and catchy. And a lot of these adventure games, at least my favorite ones, have um, great soundtracks and very interesting story and likable characters, and that's what I really like about adventure games. And of course, the puzzles. It's just something that you feel after you complete a really hard puzzle. It's like you feel just so proud of yourself in a way, and that's really a nice feeling.
Yeah, that you've accomplished something when you've actually
Yeah.
played through a game without cheating. Have you ever actually used a walk? Is there ever a situation where you've actually gotten stuck in a game and like you found like yourself, I need a walkthrough to get through it, or have you actually never used a walkthrough in any of your games? Like to
Um,
look on the internet for answers.
well, that's something that I'm relatively frequently asked. Do I use a walkthrough? And yes, I do. Um, it really depends on the game itself. There are certain games that I just want to complete, but I'm not enjoying them very much. I still would like to see the ending, and I would like to complete a game. I'm stuck on a puzzle, and I'm not enjoying it very much. I'll definitely um, turn to a walkthrough, and if I'm really enjoying the game, I probably will try maybe the next day, because sometimes you think it's impossible to solve something and you just have to take a break, and
Then you come
in a
back
few
to it, and
hours,
then
yeah,
yeah.
in a few hours you might just have a great idea and it works. So like I said, and that's really something great about adventure games, when you solve a puzzle that's rather hard, and also that it makes you think and not just brainlessly go around and, like I said, shooting people or anything. It just a different experience that I personally enjoy very much. And um, there are certain puzzles that are just illogical. Unfortunately, not all adventure games are classics, and in that case, yes, I will definitely. Once I really can't think of anything else, I'll definitely see if I can find a walkthrough.
Yeah. So, do you actually play? Like, what makes you decide I'm going to do a recording, a let's play of a adventure game? Do you actually have to like the game to a degree, or do you record every single game that you play in the adventure genre?
Um, these days, I usually just play games that were requested by the viewers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unless I really dislike the game or it doesn't work on my PC, and I give my best to really at least try to record every game that was requested. Of course, I can't find a copy of all of these games, and some of them don't work, or I just can't record them. But if everything works out fine, then yeah, I'll try to fulfill every request.
Yeah.
and also some games that are relatively new and that I think that might be interesting. Um, and also, like if I started doing a series like Mystery Case Files or Dracula games, I'll definitely play the new game when it comes out. Something that I get asked all the time is like, will you play the new Sherlock Holmes games? Will you play the new Mystery Case File games? And yes, hopefully every game that comes out as a part of a series that I already started doing, I'll definitely try to record it.
Mm. Interesting. So it's a mixture of requests and games that you find interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool stuff. So yeah, you as I've said, you've done a massive amount of adventure games. There's an awful lot to count on here. You've done several series, and like it takes dedication to record that many. Was there any instance where you're recording a let's play and you thought, oh, I really don't want to do any more of this let's play? What's your strategy for dealing with that? Like if you've got a massive game to record, do you like do them all in one go, or do you spread them over a
Um,
number of days to complete
it
them?
really depends on how much free time I have at the moment. There are cases that I'm just really interested in the game I'm playing. I have a lot of free time, so it can happen that I record everything in one single day. Just spend hours and hours just playing the game. And because I make walkthroughs, I have to play a game and then play through it again, and record it. So I have to play through a game twice, which means that it does take a bit more time than recording a blind playthrough. I usually just start recording and probably make one or two videos, and then um, in a day or two, when I have time, another video or two videos. I usually upload one video every day, so that's fine. I just record two videos, then have something to upload the next day, and then record a few more. And if I really don't like the game and I already started uploading it, I never want to put a project on hold or cancel it altogether. Those are the times when I just follow another walkthrough myself. So I just rush through the game by reading a walkthrough and then recording it. Then just record it by reading the notes and the walkthrough. I print it and just follow the walkthrough. But those are just really rare occasions when the game seemed like something I could enjoy, and then just for this or that reason I start feeling like I no longer have the desire to play the game, and it seems more like a chore than something enjoyable, and just try to finish it as quickly as possible. Yeah. So I then totally follow a walkthrough, and uh, the good thing about recording silent walkthroughs, as people like to call them, without commentary, is that people cannot hear your thoughts and emotions, so they don't know if I'm actually enjoying the game or not. So I don't have to pretend that I'm enjoying it, or I don't have to, you know what.
You can just say, "Here's my let's play." Yeah, you people, because like you're not actually saying anything. You can just
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
listen to and watch the
And
gameplay. Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah,
people
yeah.
might enjoy it. There are certain games that are interesting when you watch them. They have a really nice storyline and everything, but I just personally end up not enjoying the whole experience. And it's a shame. Doesn't happen that often, but I don't want to. I never want to cancel a project. That's not an option for me.
Yes, yeah, yeah, I've done that several times where I've tried to complete a let's play. Oh, I'm going to record a let's play of Mass Effect. Oh, it's 40 hours long. Oh no!
Yeah.
And then I think when I last tried to attempt Mass Effect, I think I got about 10 hours in while I was doing the voiceover recording, and for whatever reason, Even though I completed it several times beforehand without recording it, I did not want to continue it. For whatever reason, I just discontinued it and stopped it. But you shouldn't do that really, because even if a project isn't going very well on the internet, you should at least try and get it finished to say at least it's complete. It's not incomplete. There's parts missing or what have you. Like a lot of my Let's Plays at the moment, I've completed some of them, but I've still got a couple of outstanding ones. I still haven't done the Theme Hospital one yet, but then that's because I haven't had time. I plan to finish it, and I've got what was the other one I'm working on? XCOM Let's Play. I've still got to do that one and finish that off. But I'm on part 49 with that one. It certainly takes discipline. You've got to be, even if you don't like a game, you've got to be, you've got to like see the finish and actually get to it, and which is impressive. I commend you for that, doing so many as well, different series from different developers and stuff like that, which is pretty crazy. Do you ever intend to do a voiced Let's Play, or are there complications with doing that?
No. I'm really very shy when it comes to recording my own voice. That's why I sounded so nervous at the beginning. Hopefully I'm a bit more fluent now. I hate hearing my voice, I don't like it, and I'm afraid that at least my viewers would just tell me to shut up and play the game like I normally do. I maybe and
I don't know. I think you'd be really good at it. It'll be I think I think it would be really interesting, especially for me. Just to interrupt you for a second, I watch somebody called Metal Canyon. He's not his English. Excuse me. His first language isn't English, yet he chooses to do Let's Plays in English in like a foreign accent, and it's got an interesting twist to it. It'll be really interesting for the English speaking audience, for somebody who doesn't speak English natively, to talk about these games that are really popular and the rest. But that's just my personal opinion. I think you'd be really good at it, which is a shame. But carry on.
It's not the language itself that's preventing me from recording my own commentary. Hopefully I will get more fluent as I record more and more Let's Plays. To say that's really not a issue for me. It's just the issue of being nervous, and not knowing the language is not a problem for me. What really bothers me is that I really don't like just the sound of my voice. It doesn't matter if I'm speaking in English or my native language. I just hate hearing it. It sounds fine in my head, but I hear a recording of my voice, it just sounds so awful, and I don't know. And maybe, and that's just a thought, maybe at one point I could record something like a blind Let's Play, like my first impressions, and then record a normal walkthrough after it. So I have to play through a game once in any case, so it wouldn't take that much time. Just a bit more to edit the videos and upload them, but I guess I don't have the confidence to do it. That's the main problem that I'm
I'd love to
with.
see you try it though, just at least once, just to. It's not so much. I don't think the problem is not so much listening or hating your own voice. It's more to do, I guess, with like being judged, I suppose. That's probably the biggest hurdle. Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. Yes.
Maybe it would be fun to record Let's Play with someone else or some other YouTubers, like a co-commentary. That could be fun, but I'm just still struggling with the whole idea of someone on the internet listening to me and like you said, judging.
If you want me to do one with you, I'd be more than happy to do one. That would be an interesting one to do. Even a game that you've done already, I'd love to do that.
Well, if you want, maybe.
Well, that's if you're interested.
Maybe.
At some point, maybe. Yeah, but yeah, that would be awesome. It's the YouTube thing. That goes into the next thing I wanted to talk about. Like, have you had any problems with, I suppose, people criticising the way that you play the adventure games? Because the adventure genre's got like a small but dedicated group of fans, and how do you play your Let's Plays? Do you actually try and do 100% completion, or do you just do like the main storyline and forget or sidestep some of the puzzles, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, in most cases, at least, my newer walkthroughs, I try to discover every secret if there are any, and just complete the game and the side quests or anything that's available. Um, and some of my older walkthroughs are not 100% complete, so I'm missing. I didn't find a morphing object in some of my older Mythic file games, and I don't know. I guess I'm just a perfectionist, and I'm overly critical of myself, and I just feel so bad when I miss something. That's why I always try to record 100% completion, all puzzles perfectly solved. Not wasting any time. Um, and yeah, and people are mostly fun with the way I play, and I do listen to and appreciate feedback from the viewers. When I was just starting out, my videos were quite awful, and I'm not talking about the videos on this channel. I'm talking about my previous channel. My first walkthrough was really, it was awful. It was more like a speed run, bad quality, bad visual quality. It was awful, and people.
Everybody's got to start somewhere,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, and the viewers, some of them were really nice. Said, thank you, it was helpful. However, it would be nice if you, this and that, played a bit slower. If you hadn't skipped that cutscene, and I listened to the feedback, and now I try to make videos that are taking all of that into account, not just something that I would like to see myself. Because when I just started making my very first walkthrough, I really hadn't watched many videos before I started making one myself, and I pretty much just played how I would like to watch. You know, and people complained, and I listened to their complaints, and I think that that's a very important aspect of anyone just starting out. You have to listen to both the positive and the negative comments you get.
And try and like funnel out the ones that are just like criticizing you for the sake
Yeah,
of criticizing
yeah, just
you.
being mean.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Because some of them were really helpful. Yeah.
So what sort of like so if for example somebody wanted to start recording let's plays of their own, what sort of advice would you give to people? What's the most important thing would you consider to make a good adventure game let's play? Is it the speed at which you play the game? Is it like the way you narrate a game if you are doing a voiceover?
Yeah.
Or is it what's the most important thing would you say that makes a good walkthrough?
Well, if you want to make a walkthrough, you can't skip any of the puzzles. You have to know what you're doing. You can't just hesitate and just stand there doing nothing. Just trying to remember what to do next. That's unacceptable if you're recording a walkthrough. If you're making a let's play, on the other hand, you have to be a good narrator, and if you don't know exactly what you're doing, you have to make it entertaining. So if you're like me, thinking about doing a walkthroughs without commentary, you really have to know what you're doing. So you have to play through a game at least once. I usually try to solve some of the harder puzzles a few times, not just once. Take notes while you're playing, so that once you do reach that point in a game where you might not be able to just solve the puzzle without any help, you have your notes in front of you, and that makes it a lot easier to just don't waste any time. That's the most important advice I would have to someone making a walkthrough. And if you forget what to do next, just stop recording, check what you have to do, then start recording again. the worst thing in a silent, playthrough without commentary. Just if you're just standing or walking between areas and not knowing what to do next. That's really boring. If you're
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
making a let's play, you have to be just say something that will entertain the audience while you are trying to figure out what to do next. That would be my advice. I can say that very experienced, of course. I only watch let's plays. I don't have anything against let's plays. I do enjoy watching them myself, and I do so almost every day. So
But you prefer to watch Let's Plays and actually record them. You prefer to do
yeah,
walkthroughs
yeah, walkthrough.
on your
That's my
channel.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess there's like pros and cons to both
yeah,
that, like, for example, if the advantage of like just doing walkthroughs is you can cut out the bits that don't work. You can just make it into a seamless video that's like shows everybody all the puzzles and all the characters and what have you. But the downside is if you do it like in a silent way. If you don't do any sort of commentary like in a Let's Play, as you've said before, you don't know what the person is thinking. Do they enjoy the game? What do they think of this particular puzzle? As you said again, is this puzzle illogical?
yeah,
You don't know any insights of what the person is thinking. So even if a game is like really bad, and like you're playing through a game like is really bad, for example, I don't know which game that I'll ask you in a moment, like which game you didn't really enjoy to record. You don't know what the person is thinking. That's the main thing, and like you don't know if this puzzle is interesting or this game is interesting or any particular insight because it's a silent
yeah,
walkthrough. But yeah, of course, like YouTube, as vast as it is, you've so many people do different kinds of and different types of walkthroughs and let's plays. I think it's just, I guess, I suppose I tend to prefer listening to somebody like talking about a game. But walkthroughs are really useful in their own way because, like, especially if you want to like get footage for like a podcast, for example, the silent ones are perfect because you can just get the footage and then put them into your video. So there's pros and cons to both, I suppose.
mhm.
But is there a bit? Yeah.
What I want to say is that,
So
like my real goal with these walkthroughs and why I started making them was not to entertain. It was my main goal was to help, players who get stuck.
oh
So
yes, of course, yes.
I suppose that quite a few of my viewers actually enjoy watching them as a movie without commentary, and I'm really happy that
Yes,
there
yes, of
are
course.
people who enjoy watching them and find it entertaining. But um, I really am glad when someone says, that was really helpful, and that's really my main goal. Because adventure games can be hard and people tend to just give up when it gets hard, and it's a shame when someone doesn't complete a really good game just because they got stopped,
Just because
and
of one puzzle they
yeah,
can't
yeah.
understand. Yeah.
And I really want to help, and I always try to answer the questions that the viewers leave in the comment section. Unfortunately, I can't help everyone, but I really give my best to do so.
Yeah, walkthroughs are extremely useful. I've used them countless times. Like, for example, in Skyrim, I love Skyrim. It's a game I'm playing all the time at the moment. I've just downloaded all the downloadable content for it, and it's going to take me a long time to complete that. Well, if I could have done a let's play of it. How many parts of that span? About 600 parts over 3 years, maybe.
Yeah.
It'll take to complete.
Yeah.
That's how big that thing is. But there are a few instances in that game where, like, I have no idea how to do this puzzle. Like, because it's an action game, I thought, like, I suppose, like, the puzzles seem out of place to me. And like there's some of these dungeons where, like, you got to a part, like, where you got to get past like a gate or something, and I don't know how the hell to get past it. Like, there's like a hidden stupid switch somewhere that I wouldn't have found it without a walkthrough, or how to do a puzzle to open a gate without that. Yeah, so they are extremely useful. They do have their merits, but yeah, as you say, a lot people watch walkthroughs and let's plays for different reasons. As some people like to watch them as a film, like you've said, all in one go. Some people like them for spoilers. Some people like them to get help to, like, get past a particular. They serve all sorts of purposes, and they all serve their merits, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is brilliant of them. Was there in some of the recent games that you've played? Was there a game that you've thought, this is I really don't like this game, but is a particular game that you recorded but you don't really enjoy playing that you're not going to ever revisit ever again, or is that quite a rare occurrence when a game's really bad?
Just looking at the playlist that I uploaded.
Massive playlists.
Yeah.
Anything? Yeah, any one of them that really stands out as a really bad game?
No, not something that was really bad game. No, definitely not. But, the only game that I really couldn't finish, and I started making a walkthrough for it, and I just couldn't finish it, was for Amnesia. And I'm just sorry.
Interesting.
I'm just so sorry. So many people asked me to do it. I couldn't do it. It's not a bad game. I just couldn't beat it. I don't know. Something about it. It was just too scary for me. Maybe the things that scary in games and movies are things that scary in real life. So my personal fears of guess of illness and something like that, and then seeing the deformed human monsters, it just really got to me. I guess I wouldn't been able to finish it if it was a game with aliens or something, but I don't know. And it's just a shame that I couldn't finish it, but I couldn't complete it.
I guess it's done its job then, because it is designed to be a horror game, and it scared you away effectively.
Yeah.
So I guess that is an endorsement in a sense. Like it's just you respect the game more than able to play it, if that makes sense. You respect it, but you just weren't able to finish it because it's because of the content involved.
I guess just looking at my playlist, there were a few that I didn't really like. I didn't like the first Sherlock Holmes games. Sherlock Holmes game, Mystery of the Mummy. It was compared to the other Sherlock Holmes games, definitely not worth playing for someone who's not a big fan of the adventure games, definitely. But I'm still glad that I did finish it, as there aren't many walkthroughs available, and quite a few people found that the walkthrough to be helpful, and I'm glad that I'm glad that the videos did get a lot of views, because it wasn't my efforts weren't worthless, to say that. Put it like that, yeah.
Oh, definitely. Even for the really obscure games, you're providing a service for people who need help with their game, and like not many people may have played them, or even less so recorded them. You're providing a service for people who get stuck and help them out.
Yeah, just don't get me wrong. I don't do this for the views, but if I'm struggling to complete a game and it's not something that I'm not playing a game that I'm really enjoying, and it would be a shame if that game had the videos had no views, and I struggled to make the work. That would really be a waste of time. And if I really enjoyed playing the game and the videos don't get that many views, well, that's fine. I enjoyed it and everything's fine. I'm just so grateful that there are so many people out there who are recommending all these great games, and just thank you. Yeah.
If you were to ask me, I can't think of a really bad adventure game that I've played. There are some that are a little bit subpar. Like there's some places where like the game doesn't work very well. Like I don't know whether you've heard or even played of the series Broken Sword.
Yeah, of course.
Have you played the original? I think you would have played the original Shadow of the Templars, I believe it's called. I played that a few years ago when it was released on the Wii. It was one of the re-releases, which was a favourite. It was the original game, but they added a few new bits and pieces with the Wii controls. I found. While I respected the game, it was a bit. I suppose you can tell it was done quite cheaply, if that makes sense. In certain places, you can tell it wasn't a game like a LucasArts game where it had like a big budget and it was done. It had loads of money at its disposal and it was funny and stuff. Broken Sword, I found, I guess, Some of the puzzles, I suppose, seemed a bit illogical to me, and it seemed a bit dated even when it was first came out. All those, was it 1999? I can't remember now. But number 5's come out recently, the brand new Broken Sword. But that's the one that stands. It doesn't seem to have aged well. Broken Sword. Some of the puzzles seem a bit dated to me. It's just a shame that the voice acting, like, it seemed like they recorded it in really bad microphones, and like you can't hear what they're saying half the time, which is a shame. And it's I don't know. It's just one of those adventure games that I didn't really enjoy it as much as a lot of other people did. I'm glad it's still around, the series, but what did you think of Broken Sword? I don't certainly rate it as well as the LucasArts games, to be fair.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't like it as much as the LucasArts games either. I don't know, it's not that they're bad games, and when I uploaded my top 10 adventure games list, a lot of people complained about no Broken
You
Sword
always get
games being
complaints
on
with top 10
yeah,
lists,
yeah,
yeah.
being on the list, and I'm just so sorry. I know there's so many fans of the games, but I really think that it is a great game, but it's not a game that I personally enjoy playing as much as many others did. Like you said, I really appreciate the game. It's a very important game in the genre, definitely, but not one of my personal favorites.
It's not one of the
Unfortunately.
best examples, is it? It's not one that you would, once you completed it, you want to go back to it again. But in my personal opinion, anyway. But a lot of people really taken to the series, and
Yeah.
that's why it's now part 1 of episode. I can't remember, the new one has just come out a couple of weeks ago. Or was it about a couple of days ago actually on Steam, and they're releasing part 2 next year. There is a fan base for it, certainly, but it's not one of my personal favourites. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like with top 10 lists, you can never really, please everyone, because it's the sort of
Definitely.
thing people love to bitch about, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, why is not my favourite on the list? Like, why are you forgetting that one? And you get those. That's like standard fare on the internet. I think I've gone through the mill, and you would have gone through the mill as well. Like, oh, stop complaining. It's my personal list.
Yeah.
Why don't you make your own list?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like okay, if you got some favourites, great. Why don't you make your own video instead of complaining like for 5 minutes on a keyboard?
Yeah, I just wanted to
you took the
recommend some
time to
games
actually, yeah.
and not no, it's just about sharing my personal games with the others and recommending those games and not saying that they are objectively the best games ever released.
Yeah, that's the thing with top 10 lists. It's just like, oh, why is not mine? Where's my favourite? Where is it? It's not. I never played it. I'm sorry. Oh, you can never please everyone.
Or
no
maybe I
matter
was
how
just
good
in a
the
bad
video
mood
is.
when I played a certain game. You know, it really is like
Yeah,
that.
you can't escape that. Unfortunately, that's the course of YouTube
Yeah.
and the internet, I'm afraid. So,
Yeah.
because it's what can I say, really? It's just that thing, really. So how long did you say you were making videos for on YouTube? Have you been on as long as I have, like for 5 years?
Actually, I created my first account in January 2007, so it will be 7 years in maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, no, that's my maths then, isn't it? Yeah, I started in. I'm trying to remember now. My old original channel. I think it was May 2007. So we've been on the internet almost since YouTube began. Really, it began in 2006. We started
2005,
a year
I believe.
afterwards. Yeah, I can't believe it's been around
Yeah,
that long.
almost 10 years.
That's crazy. Where's all those years gone?
Yeah, I was
Oh my
still
God.
in high school when I created my first account, and I used to just upload like bunch of videos that I recorded at school with my crappy cell phone camera, and I had like no views. And my friend and I, we both created our accounts, and we were subscribed to each other, and we were watching, leaving comments on the other person's video. But it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, so over the years, do you think YouTube has changed? And like in did you always used to were you making adventure walkthroughs from the start, or did you actually make different content beforehand, or was it always adventure game
Uh,
videos that you made on your channel?
on this channel, yeah, it was just uh, because my old channel, it was more about music and stuff. After I decided to take down all those old videos, I started uploading like songs and stuff like that. And interestingly, I never got a copyright strike, and that's really interesting. And later, I just had an idea about another type of videos that I could make, and decided to make a walkthrough. And that was really 2.5 years after I created that channel. I really wasn't even aware of the whole gaming community. I mostly used to watch like guitar tutorials because I started playing the guitar, and YouTube was basically my teacher. So I would upload music videos and listen to, music videos. And then I decided to make another type of videos and gave this thing a try, and I'm still doing it. And after a while, I decided it would be wise to create a separate channel dedicated to adventure game walkthroughs, and that's why I picked
You're
this
still
name.
doing that you've been doing that for some time.
Yeah, it's been a while now. And it all started when I actually got a copyright strike on one of my adventure game walkthroughs, and I had so many music videos, and I had a couple of TV shows that I uploaded, and then I received a copyright strike on a video game walkthrough. So I thought that was something really dangerous. And that's why I created this channel. So if I get more strikes, that my old channel wouldn't. No,
Disappear
yeah, I
completely.
still wanted to
Yeah.
keep my old channel because I had a few YouTube friends and just didn't want to lose everything. And it's been fine ever since. So I've been more careful since then. So it's fine now.
Yeah, it's certainly changed on YouTube.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
In the years I've been, yeah, it's copyright has become it's become a major thing on the site, especially in recent years. With I don't know. You probably weren't a subscriber to my channel when I did. A few years ago, I did a series called YouTube Flaws, where I talked about how the copyright system still is hideously broken.
And this
Where
new
people,
system,
yes,
it's terrible.
the content ID,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes.
It's
Uh,
ridiculous. I just have to say this. One of my videos that just contains some wind noises got copyright ID match, and the system detected that I have a song, really, and the video was blocked. Thankfully, I didn't get a strike, but the video was blocked in some countries. And because the song also has some wind noises in the beginning, and so does my video, and it's ridiculous.
it was probably a stock sound effect. Yeah, it's ridiculous. You're getting ridiculous scenarios like that. But the copyright system is broken in so many ways. But the one that really annoys me the most is where effectively anybody can effectively like throw these copyright claims against. So the system can be abused effectively. Like for example, if I, for example, had a grudge against you, and like I could claim completely randomly, effectively, like, oh, this video that you've made, because I disliked you for whatever
Yeah.
reason, I can like use the copyright system, put a claim against you, and have YouTube take the video down. And basically, I can masquerade as like this developer saying like you infringed on my copyright. And people have been like doing it for years, and just because they have grudges against people,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, the system is hideously broken. You can get claims on videos that don't make any sense whatsoever. Like you've given me an example just there. That's a stupid example. It's just crazy. So you got to be careful, I suppose, on YouTube these days, especially with the it depends on, I suppose, like the developer and what video game that you made,
Yeah.
and what sort of content like Nintendo have been doing this recently. Like they've been starting like putting copyright claims on their Let's Play videos that people have been making, which I think is completely unfair because it's free advertising for them, effectively. But they're like, oh, that's our game. We're going to make money off your video that they made. They had nothing to do with it. It's their game, yes, but they didn't like take the hours and hours it took to record the video or what have you. But I can go on for hours and hours. I'm not going to because I've said this countless times. It's a system that's like been consistently broken for years now, and it's more treacherous especially for the video game community in recent years. You've got to be extremely careful. Do you keep backups of all your videos, by the way? Do you keep them all on your computer or a hard drive?
Yes, except for a few older runs, I have everything that I recorded so far. We actually bought a new PC just last year, something that wasn't just my PC, like more like a family PC that both me and my mom would use. So I pretty much copied all the files there so I could have more free space on my gaming PC for the new videos, because you probably know how large files recorded with reps can be.
They take up a lot of memory. I'm trying to think now. How many backup? I think I've got the vast majority of all the videos I've made. I'm trying to think. Must have used about some 500 DVD-Rs to back up all my stuff, and that's just the discs.
Wow.
I've got them all on hard drive, and that's I keep everything. I never used to keep everything. What I used to do was just like rip them in a really bad like WMV file, which is really crap file that I haven't used that for years now. Back when I was using Windows Movie Maker, I think everybody started with that one. I think. But
yeah.
Like really bad with the horrible blue screen and the white text. Oh, it's horrible. But it's do recommend to everybody, not just video gamers. Back up everything that you make, because that's crucial. Because you'll be in serious trouble if you don't do that. But and especially with copyright, like if they do delete your video off the internet, at least you've got a copy of it on your hard drive still.
Yeah.
So maybe you can upload it onto another site or what have you.
Yeah, I just created my backup channel last year when I received a invitation to from a network to apply for a partnership. I went through this cleaning phase to say. And some of my walkthroughs that contain a lot of copyrighted music, I moved them to my backup channel. And it was really helpful that I still have the original copies, of course. And if something happens to my main channel, I can always upload all my videos to my backup channel.
Or at least the ones that are safe. Yeah, that is a good practice. That's why I've got an account on Blip. My main channel's on Blip, but I've still got my YouTube channel open because that's where I get most of my views. But I do have a backup on Blip TV, so people have got because some of my videos have been deleted on YouTube because of copyright, and I've still got them on Blip, some of them. So it's best for people. Yeah, definitely have backups somewhere of your videos because that's always a good policy. But yes, when it comes to that sort of thing, it's just depressing, really. Like it would be nice, like not to having to worry about all this sort of stuff, but like you can easily get caught by the stupid system, and YouTube isn't exactly really kind to Let's Players and video gamers at the moment.
No, they don't really like the gaming
copyright
community.
sweeps. Yeah, no, they don't. Even though they've got the partnership channels, they're struggling under their stupid rules. Oh, then don't get me started on Google Plus. Oh my God, that hideous system they're forcing on people because I don't know, just because to compete against Facebook, I suppose. I think that's the only reason why they're doing it. But there you go, because it's the sort of thing that it's just constant all the time. But what can I say, really? I could easily make another 4 or 5 episodes of YouTube just on those reasons alone, like episodes 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
But we still use it, don't we?
Yeah, and then you go, oh, it's got flagged for copyright. Which one of them did, ironically? But there you go. But there you go. Let's go back to adventure games because it's depressing talking about YouTube all the time. It's just
Yeah.
having to fight them all the time. It's an uphill battle most of the time. Is there a particular video adventure game series that you, apart from Monkey Island, of course, apart from not the LucasArts games, was the one that you've played recently that really stands out that you really enjoy playing?
Um, just thinking about the games released this year, I really enjoy Gone Home. It's not a typical adventure game. I don't know if you would even call it a game. It's more like an experience, but I just enjoyed playing it so much. I finished it 4 or 5 times. I even recorded it, and I understand it might not be everyone's cup of tea. Definitely not something that everyone enjoys, but one of the best games released this year, in my opinion, by far. Great story.
But yeah, I'm trying to think now. Which one would it be for me? It's just like the LucasArts ones. They really stand out, don't they? The LucasArts ones. I don't. I guess it's not really. It's not a point and click in the conventional adventure game sense. It's probably one that sticks out the most for me is Limbo. Have you ever played that
Yeah,
one with the?
yeah, it is a great game.
The side, it's like a really moody side
Yeah.
scroller where everything's really bleak and everything's in black and white. This moody atmosphere, and it's an adventure where you got to try to traverse all these, and there's puzzles in it. So it is an adventure game in a sense, but it's not a point and click. But that's the one that really stands out for me. And I'd love to play Journey at some point. I have got a PlayStation 3, but I haven't played that many games on that system recently. Have you played Journey?
I actually haven't owned a console in my life. I know it's
Right, yeah,
it's weird,
okay, yeah. That's a game that I heard great things about, but I haven't played. But yeah, it have to be Limbo for me, I think. It's just yeah.
I also really enjoyed the new Nancy Drew games. I don't know if you're familiar with the series, but I really enjoyed the recent Nancy Drew games, as well as a few casual games released this year were also really fun. Just also looking at my the list of the games I uploaded. Yeah. Oh, definitely A New Beginning. That was an awesome game. The Whispered World. Have you ever heard of any of those games?
These are getting obscure for me. Like this is where like you know more about it than I do. That's the thing. There's so many games that go under the radar where like I've really got to play them, but like it's just you can't get the only way you can get them is usually like if you get them off Amazon off using the disc. But I wish they were on Steam and stuff like that. But most
I
of them
think
are.
that most of them are actually on Steam.
Oh right,
Yeah.
okay. I really need to check them
Yeah.
out at some point. There's definitely I'll just go through your channel like, oh, I'll play that one next. They're probably like about ridiculously cheap, like like for under £5 or $5 or wherever you get them from. Where do you get your games mostly from? Do you get them from Steam, goodoldgames.com, Amazon?
Oh, depends. I don't know. Depends. Sometimes I just want to wait for the price to drop. And sometimes Good Old Games, sometimes Steam. Not Amazon. I don't. Well, the problem with Amazon and shipping physical copy of the games is that in a lot of cases they don't ship to my country, so that's a huge limitation there.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can order books and stuff, but the last time I tried to order a game, it wasn't possible. Definitely a shame. But also the sites of the developers themselves, like Her Interactive, who they developed Nancy Drew games. The last couple of games I pre-ordered on directly on their site, so Yeah, it depends.
It
Yeah.
mainly the price that is determines
Yeah,
like where
yeah,
you get it
definitely.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Generally speaking, I tend to get most of my games off Steam simply because I like the convenience, and there's no limitation how many computers or laptops you can install the games on. As long as you remember your password and username, you can access the games again. Especially with when I'm clumsy, like if I forget to like bring a disc with me, it's good to have like, oh, it's in my Steam library. I could just re-download it on a whim, and I just like the convenience of it. It's a really nice system, and Good Old Games is really good as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Where they don't, you can buy a game really cheaply, and they don't put any DRM on there, like copy, so you can put it on as many machines as you like, and you can back up
Yeah.
the file itself onto a hard drive, which is really nice of them. So they don't put any restrictions on your game, which is like, what a lot of companies are doing these days, especially on consoles, where they put online passes and stuff like that onto your games.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I don't own any console, so not really familiar with the problems.
Yeah, you mostly play everything on PC gamer all the
Well,
way.
yeah, because when I was a kid, we always had a PC. Even when I was born, we had an old PC, and when I asked my parents to buy me a PlayStation One or a Super Nintendo, and they were like, "Why would you want PlayStation when you can play games on your PC and also create documents and read stuff?" And so they never wanted to buy me a console. So then I lost interest in even now that I can afford them. I basically don't know how to use a controller. It's ridiculous, but I really don't know.
You're not missing that much, to be fair, and it's, I don't know, back in, I suppose, in the early '90s, consoles and PCs were like they're sort of their own thing. PCs were catered towards like the adventure gamers and people who need to make documents, whereas the consoles were catered to the casual gamers, where you can play Super Mario and what have you. But now the newer consoles, I don't know whether you're interested in going to planning to get one of
No.
those, like the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. They're basically PCs now, except with more restrictions on them. So, but with PC now, they've gotten to a point where they're ridiculously powerful. You've got more games available to buy. You can modify your games. You can download them to your PC. Make documents with them. You can do all sorts of PCs now compared to consoles, and there's not much point. There's not much viability for a console these days anymore. Especially PCs are so powerful these days. It's unbelievable what you can get on a laptop, even a
Yeah,
really
yeah.
basic laptop these days.
But in the back in the 90s, the things were changing so fast. So you just when you bought a new PC, 2 years later, you basically couldn't play anything on it. So that's when I really end with my friend who had a PlayStation One, because I begged my parents to at least get buy a new PC, but and when we did get one 2 years later, it was still almost impossible to play any of the newer games. Thankfully, things are a bit different now. So I had my old PC for 5 years, and I just got a new one a few months ago. But I could still play games on my old PC. Just with had to decrease the settings, but they still worked. Whereas back in the 90s, you really couldn't play anything on a 2-year-old
Yes,
PC.
yes.
So I really did feel bad, when my friends could go out and buy new games, when I had to, stick to playing the older ones that I beaten already countless times at that point.
Yes, yeah, but yes, and I suppose back in the '90s, of course, hardware was more
Yeah,
expensive compared to these days, and you always have you've got driver problems tend to be more of an issue back then, but now everything's more standardized and a lot more powerful, and you still got access to games. PCs, because the advantage is you've still got access to all these really old games, really good games from like the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, and they still work because the operating system, while it's changed the look, it's practically the same if you're using Windows still. You can still play all your old games. You can't do that on consoles, but effective, because like nowadays they're getting rid of backwards compatibility. Like if you bought a PlayStation 3, for example, none of those games will work on the new system, which is a total con if you ask me. Same goes for the Xbox. But with PC, no. You want to play a game from the DOS days? No problem. Just download DOSBox and away you go. Or Scum Virtual Machine or whatever. You just download a program and away you go. Problem solved. You can't do that on a console. And but people still find the consoles very popular. But I think they're becoming less and less viable as the years goes on simply because of the stupid restrictions you can do on them. But there you go. That's just my personal. People keep saying PC Master Race snob. That's a phrase that's thrown around an awful lot. But I don't have to put up with all the crap on the consoles that you have to put up with. You have to put a code in. Oh, do you? Oh, you bought a game. You have to put like a code in before it'll work, and then you find out the servers don't work anymore, and whatever problem that it is, whatever. But you just don't have that problem so much with PC, and that's why I like having a decent PC rig. But adventure games don't really aren't usually that hardware intensive, are they? Not many of them are use 3D graphics. Most of them are like stylized 2D, and I guess like because of the PCs that you had at the time, you sort of, because the adventure games were like mostly the only games you could play, you sort of latched onto them at a really early age because that was the only thing that you could play.
Not really. I played all different types of games. I really loved platformers. I played Lion King so many times, like every day before school. I remember it was and yeah, I really liked yeah, people would probably hate me for saying that, but at one point in my life, I was a big fan of first-person shooters. Yeah.
What was your favourite? What was it? Doom? Which one was the first one that you played?
Doom 2 was the first one that I played.
Doom.
Doom 2.
Doom 2. Oh, I never played Doom 2. I played the original several times. I never played the second one. My first person shoot would be mine was GoldenEye 007 on the N64. I adore that game. But it doesn't hold up very well now. But back then it was just amazing. And I played Doom afterwards, shortly after on PC. But it was fantastic, Doom. But I guess tastes change, and I guess, and over time you latch onto a genre that you really, really like.
I always liked adventure games as well as some other types of games. I was never really a big fan of real-time strategy games, but everything else I could play, from shooters to puzzle games, really. Just depending on my mood. I loved. I'm actually still a fan of the GTA series. Of course, I couldn't play the new one because it was released for the PC, and
they might still bring out a PC. I'm pretty sure they will bring out a PC version. They did with number 4.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be nice. I would get GTA 5, to be honest. I even played GTA 2 a lot with my friend.
The top-down one.
Yeah,
the 2D one.
yeah. So we would steal a tank and just run over pedestrians and cars with a tank till we had enough points to advance.
Yeah. I'm still got a soft spot for Vice City because that was the first GTA. Again, it's the first game. Like with you, your favourite adventure game is the first one you've played, Monkey Island 3. So it's in a genre when you first play a game, it's usually the favourite you pick is the very first one you try. Usually, and I still got a soft spot for Vice City because it was set in the 80s, and like I like the 80s and like the sports cars and running people over and not caring about the consequences. And it's just, I don't know. GTA 5, I have played it to completion. It's a really good game, but I don't know. It's just it seems extremely cynical, and you can't really play it for after a length of time and not feel a bit, I don't know, empty, I suppose. Getting philosophical, I suppose. But Vice City sort of seemed like cartoonish, and I really enjoyed it for that. But there you go. So it's just, there's all sorts to think about when, like, the first game you play, and like everybody has their own tastes and things like that. But yeah, it's just really. It's just thinking about all the sorts of different games I've played over the years. But the adventure genre is still a really good genre to play. It's just I haven't really visited it in recent years that much. It's just something I really need to get back into. Really.
Yeah, I guess people kind of forget about it. And there are a few people who left comments on some of my videos, some of my boxes for certain older games, saying how much they enjoy playing that game, but they haven't played any other adventure games in a while, and it is a shame because people, I guess, aren't aware of so many great new adventure games that are coming out in a pretty much regular basis these days, and it is a shame. And I would love if I could share my love of adventure games with someone who hasn't played in a while, and who then, after seeing the game, decides to go out and go and get the game themselves and play it, instead of just watching it. That would be really nice.
Yes, exactly. So, I definitely recommend people check out her top 10 list. I haven't seen it. I didn't know you did a top 10. I've really got to watch that. I love top 10 lists.
It's pretty old.
I love putting things in lists. Oh, have you deleted it?
No. It was actually my 1,000 subscribers special, so it wasn't something that I thought that it would get popular. And then I deleted it for copyright reasons a year ago, and I re-uploaded it with different soundtracks. So the video is actually quite old. It was made in 2011, I think.
My top 10 adventure games. No, 11 months ago.
No,
so
I re-uploaded it 11 months ago, but I.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I deleted
yes.
it a year ago
Yes.
because of some copyright problems with some soundtracks, and I then uploaded it with different. I had to replace some of the soundtracks and upload it again a year ago or something. Yeah, so it's definitely an older video. I think it was 2011. Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Yes. Definitely go check out your top 10 list, because I love I gotta really go watch that later on. I love top 10 lists. I love I've made several myself, but I need to really make another one at some point. I really couldn't think of like my top 10 personal favourites. The series that stand out. It's mainly the LucasArts ones. I think they're just, in terms of the adventure genre, I think you can't beat them. Indiana Jones: The Fate of Atlantis is a masterpiece, if you ask me. Monkey Island 3, another gem. Monkey Island 1 and 2 as well, they're gems as well. Day of the Tentacle is hilarious. I love that one. I'm trying to think now all the other ones I've played. Limbo's, I've said that one already. But it's all the classic ones.
I also loved have you played The Longest Journey or Dreamfall? Those are amazing games.
I have heard of them, but I haven't. Again, it's one I haven't played. I've heard of it.
Yeah, definitely something we're checking out. Great games.
So what would you do? You prefer the older adventure games of the 90s, or do you prefer some of the more modern takes on the adventure genre, or do you like a mixture of both?
Well, it really depends on the game. I don't mind like outdated graphics or sound if the game itself is good. If I enjoy the story, if the game is funny or interesting, or so it really depends on case by case basis. I couldn't generalize in that sense. So I'm not so attached to the older games because, like I said, as a kid, I really didn't have access to many of the classics. So I played them, uh, some of them a few years ago. And to be honest, this creating this channel was motivated me to go back and play some of the games that I missed. I basically played both the new games and the old games almost at the same time, and not a huge difference in my opinion. If the game is interesting, then its age is absolutely not important. Not saying that I don't really enjoy really nice, colorful graphics and all, but it's not the deciding point. Definitely not.
Yeah, so as long as the game is good, you play it anyway. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter how
really
old it
doesn't
is.
matter.
Um,
I
yeah,
prefer games
definitely.
with voice acting to those who that only contain text, but even that is not a huge deal, not a deal breaker in any case.
Yes. I'm just trying to think now. Do you think like with more popular genres these days, with being first person shooters and the like, do you think that the adventure genre has gotten less popular, or do you think it's just because the audience that like adventure games has stayed the same while people who enjoy shooters has gotten bigger? What do you think on that?
Well, in the late 90s, there was a lack of good adventure games, and that's unfortunately is a fact. And there weren't so many games that were worth playing coming out. People pretty much lost interest. Those who were big fans, some of the those who were huge fans in the early 90s, and those who were just starting to younger generations were just getting interested in gaming as a whole. The first games that you play are usually the most popular games, and the adventure games just weren't. And unfortunately, it just continued. There weren't many good titles coming out in the early 2000s. I can think of a few, but not that many, to be honest. And in the last few years, with games like the ones that I mentioned, also A New Beginning, The Whisper World, um, the Dalek Entertainment, or however you pronounce the name of that company. They have released several amazing games, and unfortunately, people just aren't as interested in the genre, and the games aren't advertised. They just many of people just aren't aware that they even exist.
Yeah, that's another problem, isn't it? And like at the time in the late 2000s, I think that was the time where, especially LucasArts, well, I suppose they were losing their magic. The last Grim Fandango came out in
Eight.
1998,
Yeah.
was it? 1990. Monkey Island 3 97, Grim Fandango 1990. Full Throttle's 97, I
Full
think.
Throttle 95 something. Yeah,
Oh,
it's an older game.
95. So yeah, it was the by the late 90s, LucasArts were on the last legs, and like after 2001 or 2000, they stopped making adventure games completely. They just, after a while, they just turned into a Star Wars
Yeah,
factory,
yeah.
which is a shame, because they no longer made the brilliant games, the funny, the witty, the intelligent games that they used to do. They just made Star Wars games for years and years and years. And don't get me wrong, there have been a few really good Star Wars games, but it's just LucasArts. That wasn't, they were sort of pigeonholed into that, and and when Disney took over about a year ago, well, not long ago, they just completely disappeared completely, along with all the really cool properties. So I don't know whether we're ever going to see another Monkey Island game or another Day of the Tentacle or whatever, because I have no idea what Disney intends to do with the licenses. They probably won't do anything with them. They'll just probably shelve them for good and never touch them again, which is a really sad thought to think about. But maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully they might maybe give them to a developer and actually we might see them again. Maybe, hopefully, but I think it's looking slim at the moment.
Yeah.
But I can't think that many games since 2000 in the adventure genre that I really enjoyed. But then again, as you said, another problem they had is there were games being developed and released. It's just because most people started moving on to shooters and stuff like that, more action-packed games.
Yeah.
The people's tastes for the adventure genre sort of faded away, and those games sort of got like hidden away in like bargain bins and Steam sales, and that's the only way they're going to get noticed these days, is like if they're getting a fire sale on Steam or GOG.com where like, oh, try this game, it comes free with this, and like, oh, it turns out to be a good one.
Yeah.
So which is a shame, but there you go. But like some but I suppose it's not so bad these days now, because as I've said, it's it's a lot easier to distribute games. Like you've got Xbox Live, and of course you've got Steam and goodoldgames.com where you can download them really cheaply, readily available. It doesn't cost as much to make games these days because the development tools are out there now, and you can mod your games and stuff. So I suppose it's a bit of a mixed bag. It's not so bad now, but it's just I suppose the genre is still heavily ignored these days, mostly.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. And even if you look at YouTube, there aren't that many big YouTubers talking about adventure games. But
no, there
yeah,
isn't.
yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah. And I would love if I had a million subs and I could, just let everyone know about the upcoming games and everything. But that's just not a realistic goal. And it would be nice if the big names would kind of start paying attention to adventure games a bit more. But, well, I don't.
It's occasionally, yes. Occasionally, some of them really. It's not this game. I don't know whether you've played it. It's not an adventure game, but it does make you. You got to really think carefully. Like it's like in a puzzle sort of way. Have you ever heard of or played Papers, Please? It's come out very recently. Have you heard of that? It's if you haven't seen it, it's a game where you play this corrupt border official on this made-up communist country. You play this border official, and what you have to do is look at the documents that these people are trying to get in the country. You got to look at their documents and try and determine whether they're fake and whether you allow them into the country. And after a while, each time you get through the levels, the game gets more difficult, and like it gives you more rules to think in the back of your head. Like, this person must have a pass slip. This person must have a up-to-date passport. This person must not have a mustache, or whatever stupid rule it is. But then after a while, as you keep playing it, you find yourself getting more and more corrupt as you're having to like skirt around the rules that they give you. It's a fantastic game, and it makes you. It's a really clever puzzle game, and I definitely think you should check it out. Definitely, I think you'll really enjoy it. It was really cheap on Steam. It's about, I don't know. It's ridiculously cheap on Steam, and like it was shown on TV recently. It's in the style of an old 2D point and click game, but it's fantastic. I definitely recommend everybody should play it because it's a really interesting game, and it's nice to see games like that, even though they're quite basic in the way they look. They're really powerful in the way that like they influence people, and like everybody who plays it really enjoys it. Definitely recommend that, people. I might do a let's play of that actually. But Papers, Please is fantastic. One of the really few games that make you think, and I really enjoyed in recent years. But yeah, that's one to check out, definitely, folks. In the adventure genre, I've already said all my personal favourites. Any of the LucasArts back catalogue, the vast majority of it is brilliant. From the 80s and the early 90s. Late 2000s, not so much. But the adventure genre, Adventure Game fans have already done already. Just check out a list, and Monkey Island and stuff is already in there, I believe. Need to go check it out, but the genre itself, it does need a bit more love, I think, if you ask me.
That's what I'm trying to do. like I said, I do like other types of games, but I'm trying to share my passion for the adventure games. Um, and yeah, there are quite a few very good games that came out this year and a few couple of years ago, and it is a shame that not too many people have heard about them because some of them are
It's
really good.
obscure
Yeah,
pastime.
some of them
Yeah,
are really good. Um,
yeah.
and that's why even wanted to include quite a few newer games on my top 10 list, not just the old classics. Those would be the obvious choices, but I want to include some of the newer games, like Secret Files 1 and 2. I'm a huge fan of those games. The Long Journey, I couldn't really call it new game as it was released in 1999 actually, but it's still considered to be newer games, compared to the early 90s classics. That is an amazing game. Really affected me in so many ways.
I'm just yeah. There's loads of games like that. I'm trying to think. Again, it's the early '90s is like the golden age of the adventure game where everybody was playing them, and there's another game, another puzzle game, The Seventh Guest. Have you ever played that one?
Actually, I haven't played it,
That
but I watched the Let's Play on YouTube, hoping to play it by myself.
yes.
Yeah,
It is. They very recently released it on Steam, so now's your chance. They re-released it recently with updated. That they've remastered the sound. I think it's the original sound, but they've made it sound a lot better, and which is awesome.
sounds great.
And it's available on iPad if you have one of those, and iOS. They've re-released it really recently. I want to get that actually. Get that again. Seventh Guest. That's one of the most famous ones. One of the most famous ones that got really popular. Probably the last one. Monkey Islands, of course. That's the famous one. Adventure game. Trying to think. It's really difficult. Since the 2000, it gets really thin. Really famous games.
Well, there Still Life, of course. Haven't heard of it? No?
I've heard of it. Rings a vague bell.
Oh, that's a great game. If you like detective games, that you'll definitely enjoy playing Still Life. Still Life 2, however, is a terrible game, so
That's a shame.
yeah. But its
Sequel
prequel is
wasn't
actually
very
really good. Postmortem, great game, released in 2002. Siberia 2004, I think Siberia 2, Siberia 2002. So yeah, there were a few kind of famous adventure games released in the early 2000s, but there are a lot of more of them now actually, with the German developers being the best ones, if you ask me. And yeah, there are a few indie games that are really good that were released recently, so it's not that bad. Definitely not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like you have to look for them, I suppose. Now these days, they are out there,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
adventure games, but you have to really pay attention, and scour them out a lot more. Of course, the most famous ones that get actually talked about. You've talked about Amnesia. That's a fairly popular one. Clock Tower. That's an old one. That was quite famous back in its day. That's still Alone in the Dark. That one, the original one. I don't know whether you played any of those. That's another point and click game. There's quite a few, but it's just there's they're really obscure these days, unfortunately. It just takes a long time to find them and get them on your computer. And another one more I can really think of, an obscure one. Black Mirror. That's another one I watched a Let's Play of. That's quite. an obscure one, but that's quite respected.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I can't.
I
Have you
recorded
played
Black Mirror 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. You can find all of them on my
Yes,
channel
you've played.
if you're interested.
Those are
In.
I watched the Let's Play of that. That really looked really interesting. I want to play that. But again, it's just getting a hold of these games is quite tricky.
Yeah,
to
it's
get
an
them.
older game.
But,
Black Mirror. However, Black Mirror 2 and 3 were released. I think Black Mirror 2 was released in 2009 and 3 in 2011 or something. So I hope that they are a bit easier to find them. They're quite good as well. Also, I don't think that everyone would enjoy them because well, they're quite long. There's a lot of dialogue and kind of starts slowly and it gets really interesting if you can keep playing.
if you get sold by the story, yes.
Yeah, it does get very interesting, and I remember that I was so excited when I was about to finish Black Mirror 2. I was really excited. I remember when I got almost I knew that there were just a little bit left, and I wanted to stop playing. I was too tired, and I wanted to experience the ending. Really experience the ending. So I was so excited when I finished Black Mirror 2. Couldn't wait to start playing Black Mirror 3, which is also a pretty good game. Not the best one in series, but it's worth playing.
So
yeah.
you think two's the best out of the three?
Well,
Or do you prefer?
yeah.
Do you like the original the best out of the three?
I don't know. Thing about the original game is that I figure out what was going on, and the ending wasn't as shocking to me as it and maybe the developers intended it to be. And also the ending itself, it doesn't answer any of the main questions you might have. So that's my problem with Black Mirror 1, but it is a really great game. So I would say that Black Mirror 2 is probably my favorite one, followed by Black Mirror, closely followed, and then the third game, which is also a good game. Don't get me wrong. I would recommend checking it out.
Is it in your top 10? Is it in your top 10?
No. Maybe in my top 50.
Top 50. You've played a lot after all. Yeah, top 50. You've played a ton of you've played a ton of adventure games. There's a lot just on your channel.
And there's so many adventure games out there. When I actually created my channel, and I thought that I played all of the adventure games ever released, and I just play like less than 1%. When I really started looking into the games and trying to find more similar games to the ones that I enjoy, there's so many of them out there you can't even imagine. There's a really great website, Adventuregamers.com, and they also have an official YouTube channel, so definitely check them out if you're interested. They upload trailers on their YouTube channel. That's how I learn about the upcoming games. I just watch the trailers that they upload.
And do they make recommendations and like which ones
well,
you should play?
You can read the articles on their website, adventuregamers.com. Like I said, really great site. Very helpful if you want to search for certain games. There's so many of them out there. So many are reviewed, and best place to find new games that might interest you, definitely.
Yeah, so folks, like if you want to get in the genre, that's the site to check out. That's straight from the horse's mouth. Adventuregames.com. Did you say?
Gamers. Adventuregamers.
Adventuregamers.com. Yeah, I'll put all the links to all this stuff we've talked about in the description. All these games you can check out. Most of them, of course, you can check out on Adventure Game 8's channel. There's tons and tons of them, including Monkey Island, Black Mirror, and a whole bunch of other stuff. For me, if you are into the adventure genre, Monkey Island, definitely play Monkey Island. Indiana Jones: The Fate of Atlantis. That's quite an old Let's Play I did a couple of years ago. That's one of my personal, probably my all-time favourite. I think because that's one of the first ones I tried out and I really enjoyed it, and it's not just one adventure because there's like different paths you can go on.
Yeah.
There's 3 different storylines in the middle: the wits path and the fists path, and so on. The team path. So there's different puzzles each time. Again, it's most of the LucasArts stuff. Day of the Tentacle, a wonderful game, really, really funny. They travel back in time. They're going to try and save the world by like messing up the time stream effectively. Black Mirror is an interesting one where where the main character is framed for murder. That's a really interesting one. Broken Sword, not my personal taste, but like it is got an interesting storyline to those games. If you want to get those, I think they're on Steam. What would your top 5 recommendation? I recommend people watch your list, of course, but apart from Monkey Island, what about the top 3 or 4? What would you recommend for people who haven't played the genre before, or would you recommend playing?
Well, like I said, Still Life is a great game. I also loved Secret Files, The Whisper World, The New Beginning, just playing A Night of the Rabbit, also a great game, and Sherlock Holmes games. That's apart from the first one that I mentioned that I didn't enjoy that much, I really loved all of the other ones. And I'm talking about the new Sherlock Holmes games by Frogwares, not the old ones. I haven't played the old ones, so they might be very good as well. I'm not saying anything about them, but Testament of Sherlock Holmes came out last year. I really enjoyed playing it. Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper, another great game, as well as the Awakened. And I also am a huge fan of the Nancy Drew games. The great thing about them, there are almost 30 games in the series now. I think that the last one that came out in October was the 29th installment of the series.
Wow.
So yeah, they
29.
release 2 games a year, and most of them are really good. Some of the classic games that I really like Sanitarium, however you say it. And just to mention a few free games that are really good, I love the 5 Days a Stranger and 7 Days a Skeptic, series by his name, wow, I can't remember his name now. Ben Yahtzee, by Yahtzee.
You watch him, Zero Punctuation.
Yeah,
Zero Punctuation.
occasionally. And
he's brilliant. I watch him every week. It's every Wednesday.
yeah,
he
so
brings out an
if
episode.
you're interested in his work, you can check out his games. Like I said, 5 Days a Stranger, 7 Days a Skeptic, Real Biz Notes, my personal favorite in the series, and 6 Days a Sacrifice. Those are all the games in the series. And he also made a few other games that I haven't had the chance to play yet. And also there are quite a few really good games developed by indie adventure game studio engine, I played one called Eternalias. The game is just it's an amazing game, not very short, but brilliant game. Just mentioning a few free ones for those who might not be willing to
Pay
yeah.
for everything.
The Last Express is another very interesting game. They're different, but still a very fun game. I don't think that it's for everyone. Those who love the horror games, maybe Scratches. That's a great game. I don't know what else to recommend. I love the
There's quite a lot there to
Agatha
play
Christie
with.
games. I really love those. So yeah, there are quite a lot of them out there. You just have to
There's
look for
quite
them.
a big list, yeah. But again, people, if you are, if you want to, like, even if you're not into adventure games and you want to start playing some, there's plenty of material to work with on the channel. She's done hundreds of these let's plays. There's
Not really hundreds, but
excuse me, yeah.
about 100 now.
About, well, yeah, only 100, only 100 to work, only 100. That's not really a big number considering there's like about an average of 30 parts per let's play or something like that. That's ridiculous. There's plenty to watch. But yeah, hundreds and hundreds to play. If you just want something that makes you think, try out an adventure game. If you just want to sit back and actually listen to a good story, then there's plenty of games to sink your teeth into and just watch on the channel. You just have to scout them out if you want to play them yourself. Check out goodoldgames.com, Steam. Those are the best place to get them as of yet, and of course you can probably get a lot of them second hand on eBay and Amazon as well. But yeah, there's an awful lot to play with. It's just crazy. The amount of games that are in the genre, and of course if you've got an Xbox, you've got Limbo. The adventure. It's not really it's not really a adventure game as such, but it's really atmospheric and stuff like that. But yeah, there's hundreds. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of games to play.
Yeah, thousands, really. There are so many good adventure games out there, and I'm just scratching the surface here, really.
Yeah, and you've done probably a lot more videos on the genre than most. I think it's fair to say.
But there are a few other really good
1,000.
channels on YouTube that play just adventure games. So if you want to if you want, you can include a few links to the other channels.
Yes, of course. Like, any recommendations?
Just looking at my subscriptions. There's this guy from Brazil. He uploaded like 3,000 videos. ADV Reaper Forever, however you pronounce his name. He has more than 3,000 videos. He did a lot of these older adventure games as well as a few new games. Definitely a great source if you're interested in finding something new. Maybe some of the Let's Players. He also he uploads videos without commentary. So those who want to maybe are interested in watching a Let's Play. Yeah. Just looking at people I'm subscribed to. Yeah, her Crabbiness. She's my favorite Let's Player. Probably who does only adventure games. And a few others. There are a lot of people out there. Most of them did the older games, but you can also find some of the newer games on their channel. So yeah, check them out.
Yeah, definitely. For my recommendations, let me think. There's quite a. I'm trying to think now. Let's have a look. Mostly, I don't follow that many Let's Players, to be fair. The one that stands out the most, as I've said earlier, if you like your Let's Plays on not just he does other game types as well, but he does a load of adventure games. He's covered Indiana Jones, The Fate of Atlantis, and a whole bunch of other stuff in the adventure genre. Go check out Metal Canyon. He's fantastic. As I've said before, I'm not sure where he's from. Maybe he's French, possibly, but he doesn't speak French. He uses English, which I think he doesn't use his native language. He uses English in his Let's Plays. You can tell he's not from England, but it's really interesting. He's really compelling to watch, and the way he plays games, it's really, really cool. His commentaries are brilliant. He's doing really well, actually. I think, but when I started following him, he wasn't that well known, but he's certainly gathering steam now. I think he's got about 20,000 subscribers, I believe, if last time I checked. No, sorry, 10,000. Yes, he's doing fairly well. But he's done quite a few adventure games. and his stuff's really, really cool. Go check him out if you're into Let's Plays.
And also someone, those who are interested in horror games, CJUgames. He is definitely my favorite horror games Let's Player. He only has just about 1,000 subs at the moment, and it is a shame because I think he's a very, very good Let's Player, and I like his voice. Really, I don't know, and he mostly does blind Let's Plays, so if that's something you might find interesting, definitely go and check out his channel. He also uploads a bunch of new indie horror games. Most of them are free, so also good source to discover new games.
Yeah, and the blind Let's Plays tend to be more entertaining because, like, of course, they haven't played it. Their reactions are like genuine and like they're like on the spot, which is awesome. And another one more I can really think of. Last one probably that does Let's Plays and stuff like that. Blonde Guy Gamer is really good. He does a lot of obscure, lesser known titles. So again, I like to watch people who like play games that maybe not many people have played before. Because of course, like the mainstream stuff is interesting, but it's nice to dig out like an obscure gem and find out, oh, this is a really interesting game. I'll go check it out. I'll do a Let's Play of it, and you can get the influences a lot from these people. But like Blonde Guy Gamer is another one. He does a lot of obscure stuff, so he's another cool one to check out.
And also, for everyone interested, also check out the channels that are on my channel as recommended. So, Your Gibbs, for example, he does a lot of casual games, but also occasionally some adventure games, as well as shooters and something like that. But he mostly does casual games, so he only makes blind Let's Plays, so those who are interested in blind Let's Play, definitely check out his channel. And there are so many other really good ones. I don't usually follow the big names. I tend to stick to small YouTubers, and I just
yeah, I think I'm exactly the same. I don't find the appeal of the big, massive channels who make loads of money off. Like, you can't escape. I love Minecraft. Don't get me wrong, but it's become exploited to the point where where people monetize it all the time, and it's not really that compelling to watch anymore because it's just it's saturated with the game. Sadly, it's become a victim of its own success, and yeah, I like people who are not less well known, I suppose, and I like to give them support and shout outs because I think they're more down to earth. Compared to like the big shot partners, but that's my personal opinion, I think. So yeah, we've been recording for nearly 2 hours. I think that's we'll wrap this podcast up unless you've got anything else to add to that. I don't think I've got anything else to ask, really. I think I've asked everything I've got to say, really. We've had a good podcast, a really good podcast.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And this is practically the first podcast first time you've used English in a long time, especially over Skype, which is crazy.
Well, it's been a while since I had a chance to talk for an extended period of time in any language other than my native language. So, and also I was a bit nervous in the beginning, not because this is a new thing for me, just recording myself talking. I'm like I said, not really that confident, and it's been fun, I have to say. Something that I would love to do again, unless if there's a reason to record something again, I would really love to.
Please do a voice-over Let's Play, please.
That's not very likely. No, I'm afraid.
Come on, just do one. Just one. Monkey Island 3. Do one, please.
I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe with someone else, that could be fun.
Yeah, even something like that, even something like that, like a double person let's play, like where you got two perspectives, which is really awesome. But yeah, please do something like that. That would be awesome. That's from a fan. Anyway, but yeah, thank you so much for joining my podcast. I'm really glad you've enjoyed it. You've had a chance to practice. I suppose, would you say you were rusty? You've done really well. We had no language barrier problems at all. It's gone smoothly, really well. Thank you very much for joining me on my podcast. I'm not sure who I'm going to get on episode 8. I've spoken to a couple of people. But only you and somebody else has gotten back to me. Glenn Plant. We're trying to get him on next time. I think he'll be the next person. It'll be in January though, when he's got some free time. He said to me, try and get back to him in January and see if we can get him on the show. There's a few other people I want to actually get on the channel as well. But of course, this has been me, and that was Adventure Game Fan number 8. Do check out her channel if you into your Let's Plays. Walkthroughs and Let's Plays and stuff. Go check them out. They are awesome. She's got loads and loads of content, thousands of hours of content to sink your teeth into. Tons of content. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and I'm glad you've enjoyed listening to me rant and ask you questions for a couple of hours. It's been an absolute joy recording this, and hopefully you guys definitely check out, of course, all the recommended channels that she's just given us. As I say, when this is actually available on YouTube and Blip, I'll try and make as many as the links available in the description as possible, so there's plenty of extra content you can check out on the interwebs. But this has been a really fun podcast. Thank you very much for joining me once again. We'll leave it at 2 hours. we can talk for hours and hours and hours. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you guys next time.